It's been a while. I'm hoping to start my journey again and to start posting videos again. In this video, I'm going to be sharing what has happened over the last, I think it's been almost 2 years, over a year and a half. Kind of just what's happened in my life during that time. I'm also going to be sharing what happened to my weight along the way, and also the 3 reasons why I think I failed. Basically 3 things of where I think I went wrong, why my journey wasn't successful. And if you happen to hear my cat meowing in the background, I promise you she's fine. She just kind of goes crazy at night and chases imaginary things and meows at them. So first of all, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone that was here while I wasn't. I can't even believe how many views I've gotten in my past videos, and I just really appreciate it. I never expected to get so many, especially when I wasn't continuing to post. And also all the encouraging comments that I've received. Some I've responded to, some I haven't. Since I wasn't working on my journey, I just really ignored my channel for a long time because I wasn't ready to start. I kind of didn't even feel like I wanted to look at my channel because I felt so bad that I wasn't here and posting and doing what I intended to do. So I just want to apologize for that as well. When I started my journey back in April of 2020, I really thought that I would just be able to do it with no pauses, no glitches, no gaining weight back. I thought I would just stick to it, continually making progress, and continue reaching my goals. But that is not what happened. I really wanted to be successful with my weight loss, and I had hoped that my journey would be a source of motivation and encouragement for others that might want to do the same thing. So it's a little embarrassing to be where I am now and basically starting over. And in knowing that clearly I was wrong in how I thought my journey would go. And this is also a big part of why this video has taken so long, because I didn't want to post it until I was really ready to start, to try again. All right, so going back to when I started the last time around, I did pretty well. For 2 months. For 2 months, I stuck to my plan pretty consistently, and I lost about 15 pounds. Hi, Reese. So I ended those 2 months at 185.4, and that was my lowest weight. Now, my weight didn't go up quickly. I didn't gain it all back in 2 months, but over the course of time, it just slowly creeped up. But here is the first reason why I think I failed. After those first 2 months, I didn't have a plan. I didn't even listen to my own advice, because in my videos previously, I said how important it was to have a plan. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. I couldn't decide if I wanted to change it up, keep it the same. I was getting tired of tracking and counting calories, even though I was only a beginner at it, really, only doing it for a couple months. I should have kept going. And although my walking challenge was great, I didn't commit to any other workout plan after that. So instead of just continuing with what I was doing and what was working, I kept thinking about, well, what do I want to do now? And since I couldn't decide, I kind of just slowly stopped doing anything, or at least anything consistent. Over the next few weeks following my first 2 months, I did continue to track my food and stick to my calorie goal probably about 50% of the time, but I completely stopped exercising. At that time, I also knew that my daughter and I were going to be going on a vacation to Alberta in a few weeks' time. And so I kind of was telling myself, well, I'll figure it all out once we get back. Once I'm on vacation, I wasn't going to be worrying so much about it. So, I was just going to figure it out and start when I got back. Over those weeks until I went on vacation, my weight pretty much stayed where it was at. And before I left, my weight was 186.4. So I was only up 1 pound. We had an amazing time visiting my sister, and I know she's going to watch this. So I just love you, girl. And we always have the most fun together and the best conversations. Overall, during my time there, I felt like we didn't eat too bad. We did go out and we got some treats, but we also ate really healthy. I didn't track anything while I was there. My sister was encouraging me to track and continue my calorie counting. She's a huge supporter of my weight loss journey, but I just couldn't get into it. When I track, I feel like I have to be super accurate, which is probably not necessary, but that's just the way I feel. And it's difficult to do at somebody else's house with different recipes being made and eating different types of foods. So it's hard to figure it all out anyways. I was also on what I considered vacation mode, so I didn't want to worry too much about food. We did stay pretty active. We went on lots of walks. We played tennis. We played a game I had never tried before, frisbee golf, which was a lot of fun with the family. We also went on a hike to a really beautiful place called Dry Island Buffalo Jump. I highly recommend it if you ever go there. It's really neat because you hike down into the valley first and then hike back out again. I weighed myself once while I was on vacation and I was 187.4. So now I was up 2 pounds, but I was still pretty happy with that. But then once I got home, weighed myself again and 188.6. So I was up another pound. So gained about 3 pounds now. And guess what? Remember how I said that when I got back, I would make a new plan? Continue? Well, that never happened. And by the way, this is Lily behind me. Say hi, Lily. Here she is. We just have two. Hopefully they don't start having a battle behind me. They're frenemies. And here is the second reason I think I failed. Those first 2 months, the things I did were challenges and not a true lifestyle change. The thing about challenges is they have a time limit. Do this for so many days, do this for so many weeks, but then they end and it's over and then don't know what to do next. I like to work under pressure. I have a tendency to do that in many areas of my life. Letting the house get messy and then cleaning in a mad rush before someone comes over, or even waiting a long time to get ready before knowing I'm going somewhere and then having to hurry like crazy to get out the door. So that appeals to me, and I like working under pressure, but that has some downfalls too. And that's a part of me that I should probably really think about and try and make some improvements on. As far as my weight loss goes, even though it wasn't some crazy fad diet and it was just walking, it was still a challenge. And it was how many days I was going to stick to it, or I was going to do this for this many days. It wasn't really building a habit or making a long-term lifestyle change that was needed for success. I didn't see that then, but I do see that now. My weight just slowly continued to creep up. August 1st, I was 189. In my food journal, I wrote that I briefly tried a whole food diet. I couldn't really get myself back to counting calories, and I was trying to think of something else to try. I wrote in my journal, whole food diet, no tracking, no counting, and then macros, as in focus on macros. And well, just like so many diets in the past, I didn't stick to that one either. I'm not even sure how long I was on it, but it wasn't for very long. I kept weighing myself occasionally and kept track of my weight in photos and in my journal. And a month later, September 1st, I was 192.2. And then by the end of that month, I was at 193. I did continue to do some working out as my daughter was taking an online PE class. And so she had to go to the gym and then I would join her. So we went to the gym together quite consistently for about 10 months or so. But I can't say that I really tried my hardest. I kind of did some weights but I could have worked harder at the gym. It did help me feel stronger and maybe it did help keep my weight down or help my weight to not go up as quickly. So here is a third reason I think I failed. And that is that I didn't make my health and getting fit a priority. From looking at examples of other people that I know that always maintain their level of fitness, no matter what's happening in life, whether they're having fun, on vacation, going through difficult times, working hard, busy with family, and yet they stay fit. They maintain their level of fitness and their weight where they want it to be. They make their health and fitness a priority all the time, no matter what life brings their way. I know this is true from several people that I know, but my best friend is probably my best example of this. She works very hard, has 4 children, has gone through difficult times just like I have, and yet she is one of the fittest people I know, always making her health and fitness a priority. As for my life, well, I let everything else take priority, or should I say, be an excuse to not stay on track, get back on track, or start again. Well, first there's school starting, family visiting from out of town. Things like that are just easy excuses. Oh, I'll just get started once this is done. Well, I don't know about you, but for me, there's always something else, which is why it has to be a priority always. Taking care of my health should be happening simultaneously with all these other things because all these other things are always going to continue happening. Well, in December and January, we had some of the best distractions that there could be. We had 3 babies born in our family. 2 of my nieces had babies. My one niece had identical twin boys, and my other niece had a girl. And the twins live close by, so they are probably my favorite distraction, going and spending time with them. They were born premature, 5 weeks early and weighing only 5 pounds each, but they are doing really well and really healthy and already starting to walk. But little did we know that after such joy in our family we would be facing a heartbreak, and that is that I lost my mom in February last year, almost a year ago now. Completely unexpected, and COVID just made it all that much harder. We already missed so many visits with our parents in 2020. The year COVID started, we were just being very cautious with seeing them, and they wanted to be cautious, and there was so many restrictions in place. So we had very few visits. We talked on the phone a lot, and we had window visits, but not quite the same as being in person. I'm very thankful that in December of 2020 and January 2021, I did spend a few special days with my mom. We were kind of getting tired of never seeing each other, and it was her birthday in December, so we did get together a couple times. And then in early January, about 3 weeks after the twins were born, my parents finally went to go and meet their newest great-grandchildren. For my mom, her kids and grandkids were her absolute greatest joy, and waiting to go and see them was so hard for her. And And little did we know that I think this is the last picture that we have of her. I'm not going to go into the details of everything that happened. I might make a separate video about that. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's something others can possibly relate to. Others have been through something similar, so I might share, but I'm not sure. I have to think about it. Um, but I will say that up till the end of January, my mom was still driving, doing her own shopping, going out on her activities, doing everything she wanted to do. And on February 1st, we found out she was sick. And only 2 weeks later, she passed away. It's a huge shock to all of us, just heartbreaking. And it was very difficult because we never got to be with her because of COVID. So I brought her to the hospital on February 10th. That was the second time I was bringing her to the hospital. I had already brought her to the hospital a few days prior to that, but that time she was sent home. This time she stayed in hospital. I thought that the next day I would get to go and be with her again. I stayed with her the whole day into the evening, and I thought I had got a special bracelet, so I was supposed to be an essential visitor, so I would be able to go back and see her. And when I went back, they never let me in, so I never got to go back and be with her. I never got to see her. And then a few days later, we got the call. So I certainly wasn't worrying about my journey, my weight loss at that time. There was so much other stuff to deal with, and I had no idea the amount of things that you have to do when someone passes away, that you have to, right away start making arrangements, going to funeral homes, taking care of all the paperwork, and just so many things. Changing titles, changing insurance, and all these things have to be done pretty much right away. You start working on them. You don't really get a break. These are things you don't want to have to do. Nobody wants to do them, and yet they have to be done, and you have to take care of them. So by March 1st, I did weigh myself, and I was now at 205, and so I have gained back all the weight I had previously lost, plus an additional 5 pounds. My mom was always a huge supporter of anything I was doing. I had a lot of crazy ideas over the years, and she would always be right there behind me, backing me up. She watched all my videos, probably multiple times, and she was always asking me when I was going to post the next one. And somewhere around this time, I actually did decide to work on editing the footage that I had for my second month, and then I posted that second month video almost a year late, but I had the footage, and I think the walking was somewhat of a success, so I did work on editing and posting that video, but that is the reason that was so late. Over the next couple months, I did try a few things very briefly. I tried intermittent fasting a little bit. I also wrote down in my journal low calorie density food. I had heard how if you only eat those foods and you don't have to track and you can just eat a lot of that food. So April 6th, I wrote day 1 and I was 206.4. Well, that only lasted a little while. So basically my journal just kept being a whole bunch of day 1s. Day 1 starting again. Day 1 starting again. Over and over and over. Now, intermittent fasting, calorie counting, or focusing on the calorie density of foods could all be very beneficial to people, but I just couldn't seem to stick to anything no matter what. Not long after everything that needed to be done had been taken care of and things were starting to settle down, my dad had a serious health scare and we came very close to losing him only a few months after losing mom. So that was a whole nother challenging time. That was very difficult, but thankfully he is fully recovered. I may do a post about that sometime, just in case other people are dealing with the same issues. Basically, to sum it up, he had to be rushed into the hospital for emergency brain surgery. So that was a very challenging time and very scary. But he has now made a full recovery. So we're just very thankful for that. But of course, with dealing with all of that, still wasn't working on my weight loss or my fitness journey. And on June 19th, I wrote again, day 1, weighing 209.2. But I didn't stick to anything. A few months of summer fun passed by, and September 1st, well, I didn't gain weight, but I was 208. September 14th, I wrote again, day 1, 209.8. That time I thought I was really more serious about starting, and I did take some before pictures. And I stuck to it for a few weeks and I actually went down about 5 pounds. So September 24th, I was 204.4. I was working out a bit with my niece, going to the track with her. We had some really fun walks in the absolutely pouring rain. Not wanting to make any more excuses, but it has been a tough year. And so I'm just going to let all my mistakes of the past go and just try and do better going forward. This time around, I'm not going to say that I'm going to be perfect. Hopefully I'll be fairly consistent. But good or bad, I do hope to post more often on my channel what's happening either way, because really the journey is about all of it, not just when it's going smoothly. I hope that I'll remember the 3 reasons that I mentioned in this video of why it didn't work in the past, and I hope I don't make the same mistakes. I'm not going to talk about my current plan in this video because I think it's probably already going to be long enough, but I do hope to share that in another video in the coming weeks. Thanks everyone for sticking around and watching. Again, I thank you so much for your support, the likes, comments, and subscribes, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.